some of y'all said someone said that they couldn't hear anything. The reason is because that since my YouTube was running in the background, I couldn't, and my it told me that my mic wasn't available, but I just put it to the back of my head. So I'm sorry again that you couldn't hear anything, but I'm just gonna make this very very short. So I almost said long. Why? What? So yeah, I'm probably gonna make this long anyway. So we, see this one being floating through space, just there, just floating. And we zoom in close to his face and we see green hair and freckles. He suddenly opens his eyes and we see green. And there was a bright flash of white. He quickly closes his eyes and opens them again and we see normal green eyes. Suddenly he floats and is floating straight up. Basically floating basically what Dragon Ball Z characters do when they're floating in air. So yeah. So yeah. He sees different types of realities. He decides to check them out one by one by one. This took him millions of years. And finally he comes across one that really took his interest, but decided to check it out later. He enters the universe and sees multiple different types of planets. Well, in the other universes, when there's nothing, it's just an empty abyss. He looks around and he sees this one planet, one that really catches his eye, but decides to also check it out later. He searches through the different types of universes. Well, he searches through the different types of planets, to be precise. And finally, he comes to the one that he caught his interest first. It's green, basically our planet. He floats down to it, and he's just walking around, the world. He sees how these people are in his eyes, normal people, but these people dress. So he decides to try and blend in better, and he changes his outfit to this. To change his clothes to this to fit in better with the crowd, since he doesn't want to stand in, because he had a normal kimono on. I think that's how you pronounce it. So yeah, he changes his outfit and just keeps on walking around until he comes across this one scene, a scene that angered him. But yeah, and no, that was not my out. Credits to the person that made it. So he comes across the scene that angered him for some reason. It just didn't sit right with him. So he, this is basically the scene. The scene is where basically a bank robbery is happening, and hostages are being held, and yeah. So yeah, anyway, Izuku just decides to intervene. He starts walking in. He walks into the building. The basically bank robbers see this and start and basically try and detain Izuku. Basically, they run up to him and try and basically get him down on the ground and tie him up. But let's just say Izuku is a basically Saitama strength, but heavily on crack, basically. And they couldn't get him down. So this started to annoy Izuku a bit. So Izuku grabs one of them, and all of a sudden he just felt this power flow through him. He basically copied their ability. So yeah, pretty sure I went over it in the other episode, but probably did. But let me just do this again. Basically, you can well, there is other abilities, but I don't want to spoil them yet. So, after Izuku's, done that, let me go over. Basically, can copy ability. He can copy an ability and, put it to its max potential. Basically, if he copies, a flame quote, basically, he can push it to its max potential. That is being Blackfire. So, anyway, Izuku copies this crook, and let's say this crook was flame. It automatically pushes the flame crook to its max potential. And oh my god, a thunderstorm's happening. So sorry if you any background noise. Probably oh wow, that is very very loud. Anyway, after that's done, he copies this person's powers and pushes it to its max potential. So yeah, after that's done, Izuku looks at his hands and suddenly black fire basically ignites. He has two forms of fire. Purple, if anyone gets that, thank you. Basically, purple fire being the weakest. Oh, you know what? Nah. He has two forms, white fire and black fire. So yeah, black fire being the hardest and white fire being the second hardest. So yeah, after that's done, Izuku basically feels this surge of power, and since he doesn't, fully understand yet, oh no, let's just say Izuku detains these criminals, knocks them all out in one single hand motion. Knocking them all out. The police, let's say the police saw Izuku using this and thought using his flame cloak that he copied, and how he knocked him out so fast. So they thought he had three simple cloaks. Being astonished by this, and keep in mind, Izuku is the only of a male in this with a cloak, and yeah, Izuku is the only male with a cloak and is the only male. Plot convenience. So yeah, after that's done, they tell Izuku to come with them. Izuku, having the ability to sense bad intentions, doesn't sense any of them, and the police officers decide to go with them. They take Izuku to a cell and start questioning him on, how he's alive. Because let's say a virus wiped out all of, the male population. Oh, well, don't mind that. If you saw that, sorry. So yeah, after that thing's done, they start questioning Izuku on how he's alive. Because let's say a virus wiped out all of the male population. And yeah, since let's say before they were wiped out, they didn't have cooks, they couldn't get cooks. So yeah, they decide Izuku, didn't answered some of their questions and didn't answer the others, like where we came from, he said his first name but didn't remember his last name. So yeah, So yeah, they decided to, leave Izuku, and since Izuku is bored, he decides to toy around. He basically creates a mini universe in his hand. Let me see if I can find a pic. Basically like this. He starts, toying around with it, like fiddling with it, and yeah, just generally changing it. Until the police come back into the room and they see Izuku doing this. So yeah, they exit quietly again and decide to contact UA for this. So the police station contacts Yue and starts giving them intel on this boy with a quirk. So yeah. So, Nezu decides to come and check this out. She comes over and sees Izuku with this, small universe in his hand. So yeah. After that whole thing, she is, baffled and contacts UA staff. Well, yeah, basically contact UA staff. If I didn't go over this, I'm probably gonna cover it now. So, yeah. So, I think I'm gonna end this here. So, yeah, I guess this is the Riru. Bye.